1999 Honda Civic C, the first, and best, VTEC screamer. I will freely admit to being a Honda fanboy, albeit one in a pudgy and somewhat graying package. Ask me what the best Civic was, and I'll answer without hesitation: the 1999 to 2000 C Coupe. In '99, Honda finally gave in and put the 160 horsepower B16 engine in the Civic. I'll save you the pedantic speech about why a B-Series engine is the best thing that could ever happen to a Civic owner, with no disrespect to D-Series owners, as I've got a D16A6 powered CRX. What set this B-Series apart was the VTEC system. VTEC is Honda's variable valve timing system, and it wasn't really new in '99. Honda had been fitting the screaming high RPM version of VTEC to the Integra GS-R since 1992, and by the mid-1990s, VTEC was already doing mundane duty boosting the mid-range torque of the Honda Accord's F22 engine. Yeah, I've got one of those, too. You could get a Civic with VTEC, the X, but it wasn't the best Honda had to offer. Honda had been denying US fans the high-end Civics they sold in other markets. Here's the problem with cool-sounding cars that we clamor for in America: often, when they do finally come to the States, the results are disappointing. Turbocharged 3-cylinder 2-seat microcars sound awesome, but who among us wants to spend the next 3 years driving a smart 4x4? But it wasn't like that with the Civic C, which was every bit as good as we hoped it would be. The engine had an 8,200 revolution per minute redline, and it had that beautiful VTEC kick, somewhere around 5,500 revolutions per minute. The cams changed to their high power profile, the engine gave a mighty snarl, and the car just took off, running for its 8,000 revolution per minute redline. In a way, it was like a secret club, because at low RPM, the B16A2 is pathetic. It maxes out at 111 pounds-to-feet of torque, which is pitiful. Most of us can spit harder than that. One wonders how many people who weren't in on the secret dismissed the Civic C as a lethargic wonder, simply because they were too gutless to rev it to the sky. The Civic C's genius went well beyond the powertrain. Honda found the perfect package to house this magical engine. The 6th generation Civic was still a pretty minimalist car, and aside from unique wheels and, optional, bright blue paint, there wasn't much to set the C apart from lesser Civic coupes. It was the perfect way to frame the Civic's powertrain, just as art galleries tend to hang their masterpieces on plain white walls. Keep the decoration to a minimum, and let the artwork, in this case, the engine, stand on its own. And what about handling? Well, let's just say that Honda didn't have to do a whole lot to the Civic's chassis to make it back up that engine. Honda built the awesome C Coupe for 2 years. And then they stopped. When the 7th generation Civic made its debut for 2001, they had finally embraced the US appetite for high-powered Civics. The new C came with a European-style 3-door hatchback body, and this time, it had a 2-liter K-series engine, which traded a sky-high RPM for the low-end torque missing in the 9900 C. No, no, no. We all screamed. Wrong, wrong, wrong. How can I put this delicately? The 7th Gen Civic C. Well, it was bad. Not only did it lose the high RPM thrills, but the cheaper McPherson strut front end couldn't hold a candle to the 6th generation's double wishbones. Once again, Honda had displayed a complete misunderstanding of its younger fan base. The likes of the 9900 C would never be seen again. Or would it? I'm of the opinion that the 8th, 0611, and 9th generation, 1215, Civics C versions were pretty good. Both had around 200 horsepower, came exclusively with manual transmissions and combined the high RPM antics of the 99 with low-end torque that, if pressed under torture, I will admit improved drivability. Still, there's no denying the brilliance of the 9900. A couple of years ago, I took a quick spin on a closed airport in a somewhat dodgy one that a friend and colleague had just bought cheap. It was every bit as good as I remember the original being, and that, to me, is the sign of a brilliant car.